Okay, so just to finish this idea about dubstep, now I'm just going to try to beef the sound up a bit, and then look at how to oscillate a filter and to make it, how to manipulate a filter and make that real dubstep sound come through. So I'll keep playing this loop. I'll keep it going, and then do some stuff with it at the same time. Right. So we're at the point where we have like an analog oscillator, providing a bit of a basic, extra bit of beef to the sound, yeah? I might want a third oscillator on there. Try something else, like, something simple. So I like something that's more simple as well. Provide more body, if you see what I mean. So I've got 3 oscillators going into one at the moment. If I take it off, the third one, can you see how that, then the real bass goes out. So I quite like to do, build it from at least three sounds. And just so you remember, if you really wanted to, you could now underneath here stick in a maelstrom, stick in a subtractor, stick in like 5 more instruments that all just add more beef to the bass. And seriously, when you start doing a dubstep sound, probably some bass lines will have like 25 different instruments that are all in one. And then the fact you got your line mixer here, and you can mix between the different instruments, you can really sculpt one sound that's only playing one bass line, but it's just massive. It's like got all this crazy stuff in it. Now, I've showed you basically the wavetable synth, right? And as you can see, as I start moving that around, you start to really get that strange evolving dubstep-y type talk sound. Now, I'm also going to apply one more thing, because as I said, the 2 things it's about is wavetable synthesis and also about formant filters. And you'll start to see, if I put on a formant filter and play it. Say again? That's the thing that actually, yeah, because you've probably heard the default thing saying, I am for. Yeah. And actually a formant filter is actually something which doesn't exist on many of the other instruments that we got. But it actually, it duplicates the human voice. Like formants are harmonics that appear within the human voice, which make a human voice sound like a human voice. And actually, this formant filter is the thing which really gives that kind of Skrillexy sound. And you can see this again. This is like a 3-dimensional filter, so you can kind of move it around the X and Y axes. Not 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional, sorry. And what you do, there's a few other things to mess with. So, what I want to do, okay, I'm going to, now that I have my formant filter here, I have these 2 things. So I have wavetable position, and I have my formant filter X and Y dimensions. I want to be able to mess with those both at the same time, right? To then be able to do you remember the last video about how you put certain things to the same fader, right? So I'm going to do that, and then basically that's it. I'm going to end up with a big, fat, kind of Skrillexy type sound. Then I'm going to leave you guys to have a go at it. Anything?
Can you use these same kind of sounds for like other genres of music, like drum and bass?
Totally.
Like
Yeah, this, hopefully, looking at this doesn't just have to be dubstep, by the way. It's like, the idea is that I'll give you a few tools, and then you can apply them to any style of music you want. And the whole idea is that you guys are being original, so you actually, you create any kind of style of music that you want yourself. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try, I'm quickly going to go over this, so you might have to look at it back again quite quickly, but if I go to, if I'm on my top element of my combinator again, and I go show programmer, then I'm going to go to Thor, I'm going to go rotary 1, and I'm going to look for the wavetable oscillator. So oscillator 1, and its position. So you can only see where it is. Wavetable table. That could be it. Oscillator 1, wavetable table. No, that's not it, sorry. It's oscillator 1 position. KBD mod oct semi-tune KBD oscillator 1 type. Can I see position? Oscillator 1 position. phase modulation, detuning preset, smooth crossfade.
No.
Phase modulation, wave 1, and crossfade, wavetable table, KBD mod. Maybe it's mod because it isn't saying that isn't something else. Let me try this because yes, there we go. That's annoying. Just so you know, it turns out this is actually not called position on the automation. It's called mod. And I only did that because I noticed mod wasn't there for anything else. But if you see what I mean, now that I've just linked these up, see again, when I move rotary 1, check out what happens with position, yeah? Can you see that it's moving, yeah? So cool. That's what I wanted. And now even if I play... Cool. So that's the first thing I did. Okay, great. So thankfully, I've now found out that on Thor, the X and Y axes are known as frequency and resonance, so cutoff and resonance. So it's actually detecting it as something that it really isn't, but there we go. Now with this rotary, as I move rotary 1 now, we should see that all three things move down here. So if you keep your eye on that one, on position and on X and Y, as I move rotary 1, we should start to see, yeah, all of them move. Now, what does that mean? That means that basically, when I press play, so basically, I now have a very manipulatable dubstep sound. Now, as a result of all that, this means a few things. The kind of things that you need to apply, I mean, I could do it by basically starting to record a very brief bit of automation. And so if I actually do this and I record on the combinator track, then I will see that basically okay, it's gone strange. What I did basically, just to show you as well, I've recorded a bit of automation. If you want to look how to do that, just kind of copy what I just did. But I've recorded some automation that I just did there. The reason being that then, if you do want to change some of that stuff that I had done before, do you remember me looking at these and making it so that the filter didn't move the whole way? What I sometimes do is then mess with this, mess with these values, and you see that they'll start to constrain the movement a little bit. And I usually then, the next stage I do is, I will go on and I'll mess with these and constrain them a bit. Oh, that was nice. And when you get this sound the way you kind of want it, then you can start thinking about other stuff. You know, start thinking about putting on maybe some, apply a bit of, yeah, you get, I mean the scream distortion unit, is a nice little way. But anyway, the point is, once you've started doing it and you throw a bit of automation in, then you can actually start messing around with putting a few extra effects processes in there and, you know, EQing it a bit and doing various different things like that. But this is really, you know, I would say get in a simple bass line, just kind of sequence in a simple line, which again has long notes and allows you to do that wah 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 wah, all that stuff. But then really start to work on your sound. And this, it's not easy to build a dubstep sound from scratch, by the way. But if you do follow some of these little ideas, then hopefully it will get you to the point where you get some ideas and it kind of sparks you on doing something else as well. But those two things, basically, if you want to get that dubsteppy sound, that kind of the position in a wavetable synthesis table, and also using a formant filter, it will really get you that, you know, will really get you that kind of sound. Yeah. Anyway, so there we go.